Here is your stem.
Yes, ma'am.
If you've read and understood considering it critical care scenario, how are you going to manage this patient now?
As this is a critically ill patient, I'm going to manage this patient according to ABCD protocol. At first, I'm going to manage I'm going to secure airway is pattern, and then go for checking the breathing, the respiratory rate, and chest wall movement, and opening two wide bore cannula, and start IV fluid. And in the meantime, I'm going to manage this patient according to sepsis 6 protocol. As I'm suspecting, this is a septic shock. And for this, I'm going to take 2 samples for blood culture, 1 sample for serum lactate, and also for complete blood count. And I'm going to hourly monitor the urine output. And along with the oxygen supplementation, I'm going to give IV fluid, crystalloid IV fluid, and I'm going to give empirical antibiotic initially, and later according to culture sensitivity, according to trust guideline.
Kindly define shock.
Shock is a circulatory failure leading to hyperperfusion of tissue that leads to inadequate cellular respiration.
Discuss arterial blood gas of this patient.
Um, there is mentioned that here there is metabolic acidosis with partial compensation. As this patient is in shock, there will be lactic acid production, lactic acidosis, and that's why patient will have metabolic acidosis.
Why? There is partial compensation. What does it mean?
That means there will be compensation of the compensation by increasing the decreasing the participation of carbon dioxide by hyperventilation.
What is septic shock?
Septic shock is defined as presence of sepsis along with hypotension or hyperperfusion of organs, despite adequate fluid resuscitation, or the requirement of inotropic agent to keep the mean arterial pressure more than 65 millimeter mercury.
In case of septic shock or in case of sepsis, patient also presents with hyperkalemia. What is clinical relevance and management of taking care of that?
In case of sepsis, the hyperkalemia occurs due to cell lysis, due to cell death. The intracellular potassium will come out into the extracellular space, and the management for that, in case of hyperkalemia, I will start the calcium 10% calcium gluconate over 10 minutes, 10 ml 10% calcium gluconate for cardiac protection, and along with it I will give short acting insulin, 10 unit in 50 ml dextrose, and nebulization with salbutamol and calcium resonance, and if required, renal replacement therapy, dialysis of the patient.
What are the basic principles of management of septic shock?
Basic principle, I will manage according to sepsis 6 protocol. in that case, I will need to give organ support. Septic in case of septic shock, there will be organ dysfunction due to hypoperfusion of organs, and in that case I will need to give organ support, like for cardiac support. I along with IV fluid resuscitation, I may need to give inotropic agent.
Okay.
And for along with it, noradrenaline to maintain the peripheral vascular resistance, to increase the peripheral
Okay.
vascular
Kindly
resistance.
discuss circulatory support.
Circulatory sorry, ma'am.
How would you take care of the nutritional support of this patient according to the principles management of septic shock according to the NICE guidelines?
In case of normal adult, the calorie requirement will be
No,
20.
this patient in septic shock.
In case of septic shock, there will be catabolism, and in catabolic patient there will be increased calorie requirement. It might be 45 to 55 kilocalorie per day, and in that case I will try to give enteral feeding, but if required I may need to give total parenteral nutrition as well in case of organ dysfunction. And in that case, I will consult with. I will take consultation from a dietitian, from a nutritionist, to adequately prescribe a TPN, a total parental nutrition regimen that will be adequate for calorie requirement of this patient.
This patient also presents with oliguria. Can you give some reasons for that, or what are the reasons for it?
Yes, if there is persistent hypotension, and that will lead to hypoperfusion of kidney as well. There will be decreased renal blood flow and decreased glomerular filtration rate, and that may lead to decreased urine output.
And
The management, for the management, I will manage from the beginning. I will manage
no,
the
I'm
patient.
not asking management. We were discussing the causes for oliguria.
Okay, for the persistent hypotension is one thing, and uh,
Renal
car-
cause, another you told me. Okay, what is another cause that is apparent in this scenario?
uh,
Okay, you decide to do CT abdomen of this patient and it confirms diverticular abscess. How would you go and manage that now?
for diverticular abscess, I will manage the patient by open or image guided aspiration, open drainage or image guided aspiration for the diverticular abscess. For in case of open drainage, I will go for laparotomy and adequate peritoneal toileting, and if required, I
For
will
this
for a
patient,
stoma.
78 years old with septic shock, when would you decide that you should operate on the patient or you should go for the open drainage?
Yes,
Why
after
would you
stabilization.
not go for image guided aspiration instead?
As this is a case of septic shock, I will first try to stabilize the patient hemodynamically, and uh, um, I
What,
will.
in other words, I asked you what are the advantages for choosing image guided aspiration over open drainage for this
Yes,
patient?
advantages, there will be less morbidity, less hospital stay, and there will be provision for keeping the pigtail catheter for a period of time, and that will help in repeated aspiration and antibiotic installation. as
What
well.
is one disadvantage with that procedure?
One disadvantage is there will be no provision of making a stoma if required, and no less scope of adequate peritoneal toileting.